Now, you may have heard me in an earlier module when I was talking about margins. You may have heard me talk about inserting a section break and how it can be important when you are setting margins, because when you do that, you set a margin, you set it for the entire document. Now, if you want to just have margins affect just a portion of the document, of course, as I mentioned, you have to insert a section break. So let's go ahead and do that right now. The way that you insert a section break is that if you're on the Home tab, click on the Page Layout tab of the ribbon. And in the Page Setup grouping here, you have a button at the top right called Insert Page and Section Breaks. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. It brings down a drop-down menu that looks like this. And what I'm going to do is, under the second section, is the Section Break section. And I'm going to insert right there, or right here for this example, I'm going to insert a continuous section break. So a section break and start the new section on the same page. So bingo. Now, I'm going to do the same thing right there. Insert a continuous section break. So what changed in the document? Absolutely nothing. Although in terms of now being able to manipulate the formatting a little more specifically, a lot has changed. If you go to the Home tab and show your paragraph marks, your formatting marks, you can see that now I have a section break that is continuous there and one that is indeed there as well. So what does that mean? Well, it means that I can set an insertion point. Let me turn this back off. After the section break that I've just inserted. And now I'm able to apply different margin settings for just this particular section right here. So let's try it out. Set the insertion point there, go to Margins, let's go to Custom Margins, and let's say, for example, my top margin, which really isn't going to be terribly important here, but my left margin is, I'm going to reduce it. My right margin, I'm also going to reduce it as well. So what's that going to make this section look like? So I'm going to apply it to, here's the other part of this, it's very crucial. The margins themselves can be whatever you want, but the apply to, whole document, this point forward, or this section. Okay, now just that section gets the different margins. There's where these margins, you can see if the ruler is enabled, the margins look like this. If I go to this section of the document, they look quite a bit different. Now, as with a lot of different things in Word, there's usually more than one way to go about solving a particular problem or addressing a particular desire you have for how the document looks and feels. You can use the ruler to do the same thing that I just did and just do it on the paragraph level. For example, you can grab the indent marks here, the right indent, and just scooch one of the paragraphs in. Notice that this paragraph is affected, but not any of the paragraphs above and below. And so you can do that on both, for the first line, the hanging indent, and so on. So you can bring them in. That's the hanging. You can bring them both in if you want to. This little grabber should do that. So you can offset a paragraph and affect just the paragraph styles without affecting the margins themselves. But as you've seen, the margins apply to either the whole document or a section at a time. If you want to change the margins, you have to do it with the section breaks.